So once you've got the shape that you want, tighter or looser, then we can make the side pockets. So to make the side pockets, I'm going to take my split line tool and I'm going to add a point at 45. And I want the pockets to go up to around here, so I'm going to add another point at 135. Then I'm going to take my rectangular pattern tool and I'm going to make a shape that's a bit longer and a bit wider. Actually, let's make a point so we can be exact. Let's make it by 15 wider and 15 longer. And then take our pattern tool and make that shape. And then we can delete this point here and we have a cut for our pocket. Now our sewing disappears when we delete points, so we have to do that again. I'm going to free sew from here, and in fact it's best to start from the bottom because then you can follow that blue point. And then before we sew anything onto the belt, I'm going to add another point at 45. And if you took away more than 45, then just put it that length that you took it in by. And then I'm going to go here and put a point at 15. And why I'm putting a point at 15 is because this part is going to go beneath the trousers. So this little length here is going to be beneath them, and this small length is also going to be beneath the pants pattern. And I don't want to sew that part that's beneath the pants onto the belt. You could, but it often just causes more trouble and lumps and problems. So I'm going to sew this length onto this little length I made, and then sew the pants onto the other part. So I'm going to segment sew this to here, and extend this to the end, and then segment sew this to here. And this sewing here is going to be extended to the end here. And there you can see the lines are nice and straight. And then this is going to get the pants fabric on it as well. And then I'm going to take my internal line tool from this point here up to here. And let's align that on the grid so we can see if it's meeting up. And you could of course take a line up to here too, and then sew the whole thing onto there. But I found when I sewed the bottom onto a line, it gave me a strange sort of lump, raised lump. Maybe not by you, but I'm just going to sew it from here onto here. And then let's hide the line lengths. This small part isn't going to be sewn, again that's beneath the pants. But then this part is going to be sewn, and it's going to be sewn to here. And I'm going to select this and the fly, move it out a bit, and move this out a bit too, so I can fit this underneath without sticking it into the avatar's skin. And then simulate. Now we've got to sew it onto the back pattern too, because there's a gap here, as you can see. Right now this is coming out on top of the pants. I want it to go underneath the pants. And the problem here is because this seam ended here, so let's extend that. And that should solve it. And then just tug on it until it comes out the right way. And now when we select it, we can see the yellow outline around it, and it's on top. Now for sewing this thing here, I'm going to start by sewing it on the same length. So this seam is going to there, so let's sew it up to that blue point. Simulate. And there we've got a side pocket. Now in some cases, this part here gets lumpy and loose, and if that happens, then all you have to do is take both of these sewings down a bit. So make the orange one longer, make the purple one a bit longer, until it pulls it tight. And then you won't have any lumps. But in all other cases, you'd want to keep it the same length. It's a bit hard to see because it's the same color, so let's just copy the pants fabric give it a slight darker color and put that on that inner pocket, and there we can see we have an inner pocket. I'm going to copy this inner pocket. We could symmetric paste it, but I'm just going to Control R, mirror paste it, and then sew this onto here, and sew this onto here, and then free sew from here down to that blue point, and we can try superimpose under. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. Now it worked quite nicely. And of course, if you want this to be more open, then just grab these points here and then open it up more, and of course adjust these points here too. Oh, we could have selected them all in one go. And then you've got a more open pocket. And then of course you have to change the sewing up here, otherwise you'll get lumps. And if you wanted this to be curved, then you can curve it. Tuxedos usually are not curved from the images I saw, so I'm leaving it straight like that. Now to reduce these fabric lumps in the back, let's take a look at our line lengths. I made it before a bit wider to show you how to make the pants wider, and that made it more material here than the ratio that it's sewing onto. So I'm going to take this point here and take that out by 30, and that's going to make it tighter. Now it's sort of going down, so to fix that we can simply pick this point up, and then it's going to go up instead of down. And if you don't want it so tight, of course, make it loose. As loose as you want. I'm also going to turn off fold rendering on this line. And there we go with our tuxedo pants. Now put the same color in the side pockets now that we're done with it. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to make the jacket.